On a Friday night, where else would you rather be? What's going on, good people? Welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I'm Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
And I'm Brandon Bossert. Welcome on into the show, folks. It is playoff time now. Right. We are breaking down everything for you tonight.
Brandon, this is a big one. The regular season officially over. For the first time since 2019, we will have a basketball champion in just over 2 weeks.
That's right, Trey. After last year, it still stings to think about what happened to both Cape girls and Dover boys, both losing those opportunities to compete for a championship last year. Never going to get that back, but very exciting that it looks like we will see a champion crowd in 2019, and we're going to be talking about playoffs coming up in this show.
Yeah, we'll begin tonight with what we thought would be the game of the year. When Smyrna went to Dover, or when Dover went to Smyrna, I should say, on February 3rd, the Eagles escaped a defensive battle with a 3-point win, their closest margin of victory of the season. That first game set the stage for a showdown on the final night of the regular season in the capital city. On yesterday, the Eagles looking to finish off the season perfect with the win on Dover's senior night. Devin DeMoe, check him out, stepping in front of a pass. Josh Gregory going to finish it under the basket. Going to get through the contact right there. Now, on the other end, Dymere Yelverton knocks down a long two. Dover would actually make this a 1-point game after the first quarter, but that's when Smyrna just said, okay, we're going to
turned on the Jets.
Yeah, we're going past you. Pass inside to Musalako. Big two-handed jam. Few possessions later, Gregory going to get it in transition. And check out this one, Brandon.
Yeah.
Throwing one down.
That one's nasty.
Eagles
right there.
Up by 9 points at halftime.
And from there, the route was on. DeMoe gets the board, and then watch him run the floor. Coast in for the lay-in right there. Eagles capped off their undefeated season, an emphatic 59-38 victory over a team that I feel second best in the North in Dover. Smyrna finishes as the only undefeated boys team in the state of Delaware.
It feels really well because I was on a 15-5 team last year. We made it to the playoffs and just fell short, but I just had to pick them up this year and just be a big leader, and it feels really good.
We kind of kept it one game at a time. Apologize for the cliche, but that's really how we kept it. And then we started feeling it about halfway through that we could run the tables.
Look, you got to love Coach Mears, right?
Yeah.
Look, Brandon, I'm not going to lie. I was disappointed by this game. Dover had been one of the hottest teams in the entire state, winners of 6 straight coming into this week. But this blowout loss was preceded by a loss at home to Polytech on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dover overlooked Poly ahead of this Smyrna game or what, but now what we have is a Dover team after a phenomenal season backing into the playoffs with a 2-game losing streak. They hadn't lost 2 games in a row all year. And for the program, it's the first time in 3 years that they've lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and I was thinking that Dover was my dark horse heading into the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I think I've underrated Smyrna quite a bit this season, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I was so high on them last year, only for them to lay an egg in the postseason. Well, you know what? It looks like that might be past them. After watching them against Dover, a team that I thought would match up well with Smyrna with all that size and defense they have, they absolutely took apart Dover.
Yeah.
I love the athleticism on this team, and I love the defense they played. They're deadly in transition, and we saw the supporting cast around Musalako show up against Dover. That is a big deal when it comes to the Smyrna Eagles and whether or not they can go far in the playoffs, is whether or not the supporting cast can show up and whether or not they're shooting consistently enough to spread the floor against some of these better teams in the state they haven't seen. I mean, you got to remember, they haven't played against anyone outside the Henlopen North, so we've got a lot of teams out there like Sanford, Salesianum, who they haven't seen yet this year.
Yeah.
And got to say congratulations on a great regular season, but I think this team can't compete for a championship. They should look at the Henlopen Championship as a good test leading into the postseason. But one more thing. I know it's very, very disappointing the way that Dover and Smyrna panned out, but you know what? Maybe it's actually exciting because you look at Smyrna beating Dover like that, and they have a real chance to win a championship.
Yeah,
I think.
They do. Absolutely right.
All right, so we know that Smyrna is the best team in the North, but what about the South? Things still undecided on Tuesday, so let's check out the highlights. First, in Delmar, the Wildcats in their regular season home finale taking on Woodbridge. Every team will make the playoffs in Delaware this year, including these two right here. This one a tune-up of sorts as the regular season comes to a close. And Delmar's defense was great in this one. Offensively, there are still some kinks to work out, but they got the job done. Cameron Bosman, the southpaw sniper, finishing with 12 points. Cats go on a 10-0 run to start the second half, and they win at 46-26 to close out their home slate.
Yeah, also Tuesday night, Seaford came into the evening 1 win away from clinching the Henlopen South title, taking on Sussex Academy for the second time in as many days. Now, the Blue Jays, one of the youngest teams in the entire state, but make no doubt about it, they are one of the best. They win it 59-35 to win their first division crown since 1991. Brandon, what year were you born, man?
1991, Trey.
30 years in the making. Here is the team after the game.
We're just playing together as a team, communicating, working together, working for a goal.
First thing comes defense. We do that, we're going to win. We just got to take in pride in playing defense. Now we just got to get ready for Thursday, Saturday, for the conference game. We're going to be ready.
It's a good feeling. Kids been working hard from day one. They earned it. It was tough. South has been tough this year, some good teams. And we're going to just try to get better.
All right, Brandon, we got some brackets to break down on the boys' side. 47 teams making the tournament. First round games are Tuesday. Let's start with the Henlopen South. A South showdown, Indian River at Laurel, Woodbridge hosting Odyssey Charter, Delmar, Lake, and Seaford, all with a bye. All three of those teams are in the same region.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting right there. Now to the north, Dover coming off of those 2 losses to Polytech and Smyrna. They host MOT Charter. Caesar Rodney plays First State Military Academy, Polytech hosting Glasgow, and then Cape Henlopen travels north to play William Penn. Sussex Central and Delmarva Christian matching up as well. Milford plays AI DuPont. Sussex Tech will play Wilmington Christian. And the lone team to earn a bye was the undefeated Smyrna Eagles. They are the 6th seed and play the winner of St. Mark's and Red Lion. Undefeated, and you get the 6th seed. Yeah, that's interesting right there.
Yeah, so there are plenty of things to break down when it comes to the regular season and into the tournament. Just looking at the boys' bracket, as you said, Smyrna will have to go through the likes of maybe Caravel and Howard to get to the Final Four, and possibly through the 1 seed Louisiana to get to the championship. On the other side, Seaford with a great shake, but they could run into Dover, which in my opinion would be a very interesting matchup in the round of 16.
It will. I'm really interested to see how Seaford matches up with some of these better teams like we're going to see against Smyrna, and we'll see hopefully against Dover in a couple of days. But first, we got to say congrats to Seaford. You guys accomplished something that we haven't seen in 30 years.
Absolutely.
Didn't celebrate like you did, but the 1997 state champs didn't even accomplish this feat, so enjoy it. But I do want to give Delmar some credit here because their defense shut Woodbridge down, and they play with a lot of intensity that might rub some teams the wrong way, but you got to love it when you see it. And then something I noticed at the end of this one, Delmar actually held the ball, possessed it, took a few minutes off of the clock at the end of the game. There's no shot clock in Delaware. I feel like we have to remind these kids sometimes there's no shot clock. Hold that ball, run the clock down. That is how you close games out. Possess, hit your free throws. That's the first time that I saw a team execute that offense well this season, and it could help the Wildcats close out a playoff game or two.
Yeah, you got to love what Delmar's doing. They are ferocious. They are a young team, and Coach Sean Phillips has them playing excellent. I've been saying it since week 1.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Earlier this week, a girls' showdown in the South. We've been looking forward to this one. Woodbridge taking on unbeaten Laurel in girls' basketball. Chakaya Johnson running the floor. The smooth finish there. And the Bridge up big early, and they just kept adding on. Peyton Keeler from the corner. That one's money, cashing in for 3 right there. Woodbridge letting it fly. The freshman Reagan Robinson from well beyond the line. She buries that one. She had 3 triples in this one. Laurel trying to stay alive. Time running down the half. Corey Smith getting the lay-in to fall as the buzzer sounds. The senior doing everything she could to keep the Bulldogs in this one. Check out this one-on-one. Top of the key right here. She just beats the defender to the cup. Bulldogs cut it to single digits in the second half, but this one would belong to Woodbridge. Dominant effort by the Blue Raiders. 57-38 was the final score.
Yeah, and we've got one more team, undefeated team from the Henlopens to celebrate. Last night, Cape Henlopen girls beat Milford 55-11 to cap off a perfect 14-0 regular season. Micaiah Applewhite finished with 12. Morgan Mahoney with 10, and the ladies from Lewis also enter their tournament unbeaten.
That score is not even surprising.
Yeah.
With the way that they've been playing. Now, let's check out where our local girls teams will play, starting with the North. Cape Henlopen, unbeaten, won every game by more than 20, and they are your 7 seed. A lot of disrespect we're seeing for the Henlopen.
Yeah, well, what's going on, man? We got to call up the reps up there.
Yeah, we do. The 7 seed for Cape Henlopen. I don't know how they're deciding these seeds, but okay, we'll see how it shakes out. They get a first-round bye. CR will host Laurel, Polytech, and Smyrna meeting. Winner plays Archmere, Sussex Tech, and Wilmington Christian with a chance to play Sanford on the line. Dover playing MOT Charter. And then Central and Red Lion will square off.
Yeah, and in the South, 4-time defending champ Woodbridge gets a 10 seed. They take on Lake Forest. Delmarva Christian visiting William Penn in the EZAC. As you mentioned, Laurel, they'll visit Caesar Rodney. I think that'll be a fantastic matchup. And then in the South, we got 2 showdowns. Delmar at Seaford. Milford will travel to Indian River. Those first-round games begin on Monday. So Cape goes wire to wire in the Henlopen North. I think what their seed tells us is that the North was not as good as we maybe thought it would be this year. Caesar Rodney, the next best team, and they weren't nearly as talented as Cape Henlopen was. The South, by the way, has belonged to Woodbridge for the past 4 years, and they do it again. So an amazing group of seniors up there in Greenwood.
Yeah, I think we saw Woodbridge show everyone that they are still the class of the South this week against Laurel. The Bulldogs are a team to watch in the next few years. But it was a bit concerning watching this game. Very sloppy from both teams. A lot of turnovers. I'm not sure if it was because both of these teams knew it was a highly anticipated matchup. Laurel coming in undefeated, but both teams will have to clean things up as they do enter the playoffs. And we have to talk about Cape. How in the world is this team a 7 seed? I mean, they won every game by 20 points. They went undefeated. I'm just stunned by that seeding right there.
But like I said, I don't know what the formula was, but maybe some strength of schedule came into it, and you got to look at who Cape has played this year.
Yeah.
When you look at Milford and you look at some of those teams that are in the North, they were not good teams this year. You could make a case that the South, top to bottom, was a better conference or better division than the North was.
Yeah, it definitely hurt Cape Henlopen with the Henlopen North seeming so weak this year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we return, Bayside football season just a couple weeks away now. Actually, 1 week, I should say. We chatted up with some more local coaches, that and more, when DSI returns.
I'm TJ Gibson from Delmar High School. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.